Hi everyone! This short tutorial will teach you some of the basics of sentence structure. This is part one, and I want you to have your handout next to you so that you can take some notes. Okay, so the very first type of sentence structure I want you to learn is called the fanboys, and its term is coordinating conjunction. And there are tons of wonderful resources through internet web searches if you just type in the words coordinating conjunction. So if you want lessons and you want more handouts about this, with any of these terms, you can just Google them and you'll find so much information. That's why we just don't have a textbook in the class, because everything's online. So this first one's called fanboys, and it's an acronym for these words: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. And these words, when used with a comma, helps to combine two sentences. It's actually the same thing as a period. So when we look at a sentence, we're looking for both sides of this particular and. Okay, so this and is a fanboy's and each side of it is a sentence. She swims with sharks is an independent clause. I don't like using that term, but it's basically a sentence. It has a subject, she, and a verb, swims. Basically, we know who's doing an action. She surfs with them too is also an independent clause because it has a subject and a verb. And so you could write two short sentences, right? She swims with sharks, she surfs with them too, or you can get fancy and just combine the two of them with a fanboys. That's all there is to it. It's interchangeable, periods and fanboys. So if we look at another way to look at this is to check it. And so when we look at each side, the blue side and the purple side, we look for the subject and the verb. We make sure it's a sentence. And if both of them check out, then it's correct. But if we look at something like this, she swims with sharks and surfs with them too. The blue side, she swims with sharks, is a sentence. But the purple side, surfs with them too, is missing the who. We don't know who's surfing. That's what makes it a fragment. It's not a sentence, and that's why the fanboys does not work. You would have to stick a she before the word surfs in order for that to work. So when you're using a fanboys, you can start really simple and then go back and embellish the sentence with description and time frames or places or prepositional phrases. So I want you to just take a moment to pause the video and read how I take a simple sentence and then add words to make it more complex. It's those kind of complex sentence structures that make your writing more at a college level. Now here goes semicolons, which people love to use and almost always incorrectly. So I want to take the myth out of a semicolon. Just look at the symbol of it. It's a combination of a period and a comma. So just think about what it looks like. What it's saying is that the period portion of a semicolon shows that each side of the semicolon is an independent clause. It's its own sentence. But the comma portion of the semicolon shows that the writer decides to join the two sentences together. So you can use a semicolon in the place of a period, but it has to have something related to the other sentence. They have to be relatable. So we can look at the same sentence here. She swims with sharks, she surfs with them too, and the semicolon is interchangeable with the period. So it's the same thing. The writer just wanted to be fancy. Instead of putting a period, they put a semicolon because she swims with sharks and also surfs with them. So the two sentences are relatable. And again, you just want to do the check to see if you're correct. The blue side shows that that's a sentence that can stand by itself. The purple side shows that it's a sentence that can stand by itself. And the semicolon in that case is correct because both sides are equal to each other. They're balanced. So just remember that the fanboys is the same thing as a period, which is the same thing as a semicolon. They all work the same way. They're all inserted between two complete sentences. So I hope that you learned a lot about these sentence structures and you will use them throughout your papers. Look for places where you put periods and see if it makes more logical sense to combine two shorter sentences together because they're related. Thanks for watching.